Hi there, happy Monday. So, this week's topic is going to be on self worth. So, self worth is something that you demonstrate, not something that you declare. All right, so saying you're worthy is one thing, but your choices will actually tell the truth on how well you value your self worth or value yourself, I should say. So look at what you're tolerating on a regular, right? It reflects how you see yourself. Boundaries are important. It's actually an instrumental self worth behavior. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow. So saying no isn't rude. It's actually protecting your inner wealth, if you will, like your richness. You don't have to say, things really dismissive and nasty. You could just get to the point. Like, I think I used this example in another video. If someone were to ask you for lunch, you don't want to go, right? You don't have to be like, no, I don't want to go. All you have to do is say, hey, you know what? Thanks for the invite. I have another commitment, maybe another time. Now, that commitment that you have could be you getting R&R, rest and relaxation for yourself. That person doesn't need to know what your commitment is. You have a commitment, you won't be able to attend. So essentially, the answer is still no, but you have not been rude and dismissive with your answer. So self-talk, that is also revealing about self-worth, right? Because the way that you speak to yourself sets the tone to how other people speak to you. So something that you care about or that you love, right? You are going to speak to them a certain way, right? So if you're not going to talk to yourself in that same loving manner, it does not belong in your head. And while we're on the topic of love, because I've heard this from a lot of a lot of people about the word love, and then I'll equate it with self-worth. Okay, what I want to say, so this will be like a PSA. If you're dealing with someone that is not healed, and when I say healed, I mean healed from any kind of trauma that happened in their life, abandonment issues, whatever they've gone through, if they have not healed, that person will not be able to love themselves, nor ding, 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 love you. So if you're dealing with someone that is not healed, that is going to be a turbulent relationship. Now, can they get to the other side? Sure. So if you want to be the support system for that person, but to actually be intimately involved with a person that is not healed, it's not going to be a good thing. It's not. And this is no shade to that person. This is no shade to you. But if you really want them to be better, and if you want to be like in a relationship where it's, good reciprocity, for yourself and the other person, try to gently nudge that person to do that inner work, whatever that means for them, whether it's talking to somebody professionally, whatever they have to do that wellness for themselves. But if you are dealing with someone that is not healed, that relationship is going to be a hot mess. I'm just sorry to tell you. I mean, there has to be some work that's going to take place. All right. And then piggybacking off of that, self-worth requires you to set some standards, right? So make sure that you're not just accepting the bare minimum, right? You are demanding the full effort, as you should, because you're giving forth effort. You should be receiving the same amount of effort. And then I want to say this is important. You attract what you believe you deserve. Let me say that again. You attract what you believe you deserve. So if you wonder why you're always like attracting similar types of people, like, why do I always, that's what you're attracting. That is what you're attracting. So how can you change that? You can change that by raising your standards, raising your rate. It is inner work. That's a part of self-worth. It's not coincidental. You're like, why am I always getting people that I have to put back together and help them? That's what you're attracting. So you have to do some inner work on yourself. And then this one is very important. The habits that you have. I want you to ask yourself, do those habits honor or hurt your self-worth? And when I say habits, any habit that you have. So do you rest when you need it? Or do you push yourself past burnout to meet a deadline, to prove something to yourself or someone else? Whatever the situation may be, take care of yourself. All right. There is rest required for a reason. We need sleep. We need to prioritize that. And then also stepping on top of that, what are you nourishing your mind and your body with? So if your mind is just filled with negativity, it's filled with depressing thoughts, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. It will not. The first step to healing is acknowledging the truth, right? That's the very first step, saying, hey, this is where I'm at. So what are you doing to your body? Are you putting good things in your body daily? Like if someone were to ask you to say, hey, I'm going to give you a pad of paper. Tell me what you consumed, from the time that you got up, shortly after you got ready. What did you consume from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.? There should be a lot of good things in there to take care of your body. If you're not, your self-worth is in the toilet. Take care of yourself. All right. And then sleep. People sleep on sleep. You really need to get proper rest. I just recently learned that can have literally lack of sleep is the devil. It is. That does such disastrous things to your mind, to your body. If you feel like you're not getting proper sleep, reach out to a healthcare professional. Even if you don't believe in traditional Western medicine, reach out to a wellness provider. Make sure that you actually are getting proper sleep. Sleep is actually when your body repairs itself. All of those cells are repairing itself. I mean, you need it to think properly, to have good physical function. You need to get proper rest. All right. So that's important. So pay attention to the habits that you have for yourself. That's a big part of self-worth. And then also reciprocity is non-negotiable. You should be getting what you're giving, right? It should not be one-sided. If you're pouring into someone else's cup, they should be pouring into your cup as well. I actually want you to think about self-worth like money. Okay. So similar to how the thumbnail was, are you emotionally overdrawn? And you should not be. So going back to what we were discussing with boundaries. So similar to an ATM machine, you know how depending on the bank or the type of account that you have, there are transaction limits, right? Do the same with your self-worth. Protect your balance before it hits zero, right? And then as far as overdraft fees, refuse that. So if you have something or someone that you're dealing with and they're not kind, refuse that, reject it. You don't want that. You do not need the overdraft fees. Emotional neglect, refuse it, reject it, right? And then as we were just talking about with reciprocity, make sure that you are giving and also receiving. So both of those are important, right? It should be a two-way street. And then make sure that you're making regular deposits into your inner self-worth. All right. And this is through rest. This is through reflection and self-care. Self-care is taking care of your mind and your body. I think I heard in a movie one time, someone said, hey, you can't treat your body like an amusement park all the time. So you will forever need to recoup. So look at how you're treating your body on a regular basis. All right. So make regular deposits into your self-worth. And then lastly, treat your self-worth like money, right? So our money is precious, right? It's valuable and we don't give it away for free. So think of the same thing when it comes to your self-worth, right? Be very cautious about what you are going to entertain. All right. And then lastly, I would like to ask you a question. And the question is, if your self-worth had a voice, what would it say to you today? Right? What would your self-worth say to you today if it had a voice? So if self-care, self-love type videos, if that's your thing, please like the video. If you're just stopping by for the first time, please subscribe to the channel if you like content related to self-care, self-love, shifting your mindset to be the best version of yourself. I would love to see you here. Otherwise, take care, be well, enjoy the rest of your Monday and the rest of your week.